It's 9 degrees outside and the wind's around 10 to 15 miles an hour. The chill factor is way below ridiculous. Perfect opportunity to try out my newest build. I call it the snow and ice neutralizer. You can use any kind of chemicals in here. I'm using sand because I just kind of prefer that over salt. And for a couple bucks, you can have one of your very own. It's simple, it takes a couple minutes, and you can save yourself $16, $20, $30 on a similar product you can buy online. So let's get going. I'll show you how to make one and how it works. Here's a close-up of the build. Then I'll deconstruct it for you. You have 6 cable ties across here and then additional 6 cable tie ends here. This is just a protein shake container. If you don't do protein shakes, you can use any kind of nut container. I'll show you a second version. And then some cable ties here and just a standard top lid. This hole right here is all you need. I'll pop it off. I know some designs that are commercial have a series of other holes, but I found this hole to work for pretty much anything you want to distribute. And then it seals up and you don't have to worry about it. The other great thing about this design is that you can push it down and adjust how short you want the length of the scoop. Or if you're storing it, just bring it down all the way like that, and it collapses and takes up less room. The tools for this build are fairly simple. These are just $5 or $10 tin snips, and if you have any kind of maker space, you definitely want a pair of these. Or you can just use a pair of scissors. Also, this flush trimmer is good when you're trying to clean this up and have a nice smooth cut. And then you're going to use a drill with a 9/64 inch drill bit, which is the approximate thickness of a 8-inch cable tie. So you take this and you come down through here. I followed the line and you'll come up with 2 halves like this. Or if you have something like this nut container, just follow the line straight through here and just follow the edge right here. And that's what I did, and I came up with these 2 halves. These are great for sand or any kind of anti-ice agent, or in the summertime, grass seed or fertilizer. I'm going to use it for both. And then after you trim the bottom off, you'll have something like this, or some sharp edges, and then you just want to use your scissors and just smooth and get a nice little smooth angle there and smooth around like that. And then I took a sanding sponge and just ran it down the edges, because plastic can be sharp. Just smooth it out so it's nice and safe. Same thing here. You can see it's got kind of a rough edge on it, but if you get the sanding sponge, right in there and knock it down. Or just trim it off with the scissors. Either way. So I've chosen to do this one next. I've actually done the curve here, smoothed it out, sanded it down, and I've drilled the holes. Here I had 6 cable ties, but on this one I'm going to have 5. It's just a slightly narrower chute. So I'm going to run the cable ties through the back here, and I'm going to lock into that ledge, and then just run it down through here like this. Originally I thought about gluing these down, but my personal experience with sand and anything, as long as you don't pull them too tight, they sit there pretty flush. They'll work great at channeling the sand or the seed or whatever it is that you're trying to distribute on the ground or on the blacktop, sidewalk, whatever it is. So I'm going to put all 5 of these in here like this. Just feed them down. And I'm trying to use this clear container to give you perspective. I got the smooth part of the cable tie facing this way, and then the grooved part of the cable tie is facing down. And just feed it in like that until it clicks. You don't want to cinch it too tight because you might warp the plastic. Just firm enough. And here you can see I have another little ledge here that will help me lock those in place. So I'll finish off the rest of these and then come back and show you the next step. And then I've got all these little ends I need to cut off, and I'm going to use my flush cutters down in there, and it does a great job of knocking these out and cutting those down so they're not going to be sharp and hurt you. and then just do the same for the other side. Before you put these on, you could actually just clip these off and then put them on, and then you would kind of avoid doing this step, but it doesn't matter either way. If for some reason you got a little bit of a rough edge, just take your sanding sponge. It's not going to hurt you there. So the next thing you need to do is get your container. This is a half-gallon container. This is a full-gallon container. So whatever container you choose, you want to make sure that this is nice and flush with the side there. I'm going to take the top off because that just helps out. Now you're going to take 2 larger cable ties. I'm using 2 11-inch cable ties. And I actually might need 3 for this guy. And you're going to run the cable tie through the handle here. So let's see if we can do it with 2 or we need an additional one. Get in here like this. No. We're going to need a 3rd one. This one here only took 2. You don't want to tighten down all the way. And then you're going to slide your chute in like that and find that groove right here in which to lock this guy down in. And I'm going to bring it over here and then tighten all these up a little bit at a time till it's nice and flush. You don't want to completely tighten. You want to be able to slide this guy back and forth, but you don't want it to fall off. And if you're having problems holding onto the cable ties as you pull them, just get some sort of pliers and use that to pull things tight. Like that. And then do a little testing here for storage, and then you just slide it up when you need it, like that. Yeah, maybe a little tighter, just a tad. Not too tight. Yeah, okay. And then you take your flush cutters and just cut those guys off until they're nice and smooth. And that's pretty much the build right there. And you can do some minor adjustments here, but that chute is going to work just as great as this one does. Okay, so going like this, maybe too much. Spreading it back and forth like this, getting the right angle, it's hitting everywhere. So you just spread it around. Cable ties really do help distribute it. And with a couple shakes, you've really kind of covered the area really well here. This is a $1 container, a little bit of cable ties, and a salvaged piece of plastic from a container you would typically throw away. It's pretty much $1 to $2. And you've got a great solution right here. Thumbs up and comments, always appreciated. Thanks for watching. If you like designs of all kinds, making and breaking stuff, home repairs, evaluations of sporting gear and electronics, I even do costumes, cosplay, and props. Check out my channel and please subscribe, because you never know what you're gonna see.